Good afternoon, and welcome to the GPU computing session. This is Roger from Peer1 who'll be kicking things off with.
Hi, everybody. We had our lunch, and is everyone feeling sleepy? Let's turn the lights down. I'm just kidding. My name is Robert Miggins. I live in San Antonio, Texas, and I work for Peer1 Hosting, and I'll tell you a little bit about who we are in a little while. The purpose of my speech today is to talk about the GPU cloud that we've built, and so I'd like to, rather than talking about just our GPU cloud, I'd like to talk about the fact that you can now access GPUs in the cloud from us and some other providers. I'd like to try to kind of just create some new awareness of that. I was thinking about, I mentioned I'm from Texas, and so just to perpetuate lots of stereotypes about Texas, I wasn't able to ride my horse here. I had to take a plane. But I was thinking about, I was trying to create an analogy for how the way people can access GPUs has changed in the last year. So I thought about this. It used to be last year that the only way you can ever get the milk you wanted, if milk, the analogy here is that milk is what the user wants. So those of you in the rendering space, in the visualization space, what you want is the output. You want a machine to do something for you so that you can get some output. So it used to be last year the only way you could do that is to buy the cow and grab the milk yourself. If you fast forward 1 year, there are 3 ways that you can obtain what you want. You can still buy the cow, and for many, many customers, that's something they like. You can sign up for a milk delivery service and have the milk delivered to your front doorstep once a day, once a week, whatever makes the most sense. Or you can wait until you're thirsty and go into the supermarket and just buy it by the drink. So hopefully this will start to make a little sense here in a second. So there's 3 different ways now that users can access GPUs. So the buy the cow model is one that's been tried and true and proven for a long time, and that basically says you spend money, you buy the hardware, and then you put the machine in your office, or you put it in a co-location center, in a data center. That's the first column. We would call that co-location in the hosting space. The second model is the regular delivery. That's a GPU private cloud. So you set up a whole series of GPU-enabled servers, maybe firewall, maybe load balancer. You might have a SAN storage on the back end, depending on what the customer needs. And that's for somebody who would say, I need GPUs all the time, and my application needs some level of customization. And so we would call that a private cloud instance. All of the hardware would be specifically dedicated to the client, and it's available all the time. The third column is the buy the drink offer, and that's a utility cloud. That says you bring us a project, you upload the project, complete the project, and when it's finished, you unplug, your bill stops, and off you go. So that's somebody that says, I just want to simply bring you a project, I want to complete it, and I want to move on with my life. The differences here is that, in the kind of buy the cow model, you have ultimate control. It's your hardware. You can do whatever you want. You can customize it to your heart's content. With the private cloud, of course, we would do a level of customization for you, and there's a load of service you get along with that. And then obviously kind of the project-based buy the drink model, you get complete flexibility, and you can keep your costs really, really in check. So that's the idea. Is any of this making sense? Is the cow thing just too much of a stretch? I don't know. Maybe? I saw a couple of smiles. Okay, so there are 3 companies that are doing this today: Amazon, Penguin Computing, and Peer1 Hosting. With Amazon, they're offering the utility kind of buy the drink model, as well as they don't really offer a private cloud, and you can't customize it exactly the way you like, but there are some elements of some elements of dedicated hardware that you can get from Amazon, and they're offering a GPU-based cloud offering as well. With Penguin Computing, they are historically a hardware manufacturer, so they historically have sold Linux-based hardware. Now, and so they also have a GPU server that they sell to the market. In addition to that, they have a small kind of services division where they are also doing some GPU hosting. And then lastly, we're Peer1. We offer the co-location because that's part of our business. So if you do want to bring your hardware into our building, we'll let you do that. We offer the private cloud solution as well, which is that middle option. And then lastly, we offer the utility cloud. Bring us the project, run your project, plug in, receive your electricity, unplug, very utility-based model. We're offering that today as well, but I want to make it very clear we're actually offering it through our friends at bluegfx. So if you have any questions, you can speak to us outside, but really it's through our partner at bluegfx that we're actually able to do that last bit. So what's next? Okay. A small bit of infomercial about us. We're a worldwide hosting company. One of the key differentiators for us is that we run this, what we call the fast fiber network, and it's a 10 gigabit per second massive network across North America and extending over into Europe. Today it extends to London and from London over to Amsterdam, and that will likely continue to expand probably into Frankfurt in the next few months. Let's see, I think this next slide's a little bit better. Yeah, so here's who we are, some fast facts. We've been in hosting business for 12 years. We're a publicly listed company, and we've got a little over $110 million in annual turnover. We're headquartered in Vancouver, British Columbia. We were the first folks to partner with NVIDIA to actually bring the GPU cloud to market. So I mentioned Amazon, Penguin, and Peer1. We launched last July after NVIDIA came to us and said, we need people who would be willing to, we need service providers that would service and support GPUs, because companies who previously would buy the cow or buy the GPU are increasingly unable to do that because of budgets, economy, whatever. A few other facts about us, 400 or so employees, including about 25 or so here in the UK. And look, the bottom line for us is we are a service provider, so our goal in life is, what we're here to do is to worry about your infrastructure so you don't have to worry about it. We think worry is actually a good word. We think panic is a bad word, but worry is actually a good word because we think that means we're thinking about your infrastructure. I think a couple more slides. Thank you. Just a bit about a new data center we're building here in the UK. We're building, and we'll open on October 1st, a brand new, massive, large data center in Portsmouth. And what's nice about Portsmouth is it's close enough to London. Don't ask me miles or kilometers. What is it, Amanda? It's an hour away? An hour away. It's 58,000 square feet. We'll build it out in 4 equal chunks, kind of a quarter at a time. It's got redundant links, 10 gigabit uplinks back to the London Internet Exchange. And there's actually quite a few elements of the building that are going to be very green. We expect that when it's complete, it'll be one of the top 5 most green data centers in the United Kingdom. There's some cooling technology that we're using from a company here in England that's brand new and completely different from any other type of cooling, which gives us a massive boost in the efficiency of the cooling. We're able to use the ambient temperature, the ambient air from our location to cool the data center. There's lots of different best practices we've put into place, which will ultimately, and those of us in the data center space talk about this stuff all the time, but we will bring our PUE down to 1.1. PUE is basically the way you measure how efficient your data center is. Google is world class at doing these things, and I think their published PUE is 1.2. You can't get below 1. So we're expecting that we'll be able to, at capacity, we'll be at about 1.1, which is really, really great. We probably have other data centers that are at 1.9, for instance, so it varies quite a bit. This one here will be great, and I think that there's some regulations in the UK that are requiring businesses to actually be able to track the reduction in carbon footprint. So it's kind of perfect timing, and it's also just a smart thing to do. Next slide, please. Okay, last thing I'll say is this, and I'll turn it over to Peter. In addition to the way that we're offering the GPU cloud, buy the cow, sign up for milk delivery, or buy it by the drink, we also offer hosted reality server software from Mental Images. Peer1 is offering that in a software as a service model, so you can get GPU servers from us, or you can get GPU servers with reality server installed. That way, if you'd rather not purchase the license, but you'd rather buy it, by the month, you can certainly do that. What we would do in that case is install and support the reality server software, and once again, you can buy it hourly, daily, or monthly. The last thing I'll say is I want to introduce, for the rest of our time slot here, Peter Prahl, who's the sales director for EMEA for Mental Images, which is a subsidiary of NVIDIA. He's going to take us through a demo. And before I turn it over to him, the demo is running in our UK data center on eight GPU servers. Thanks.
So, thank you, Robert. Well, I'm going to take you through a couple of slides. At first, introducing the iRay GPU-based rendering mode, and then explaining what Reality Server is all about. And of course, I will try to spend most of the time doing some live demos on the Peer1 cloud. And well, let me first explain or spend some sentences on Mental Images. Mental Images is most probably known to you by the name of Mental Ray, which is the most versatile and most used rendering engine. Our business model is very easy to explain. We're just providing technology, and this technology, meaning rendering engines, are included by other software vendors like Autodesk, Dassault, PTC, just to name the big ones, into their products, and they're using our technology in order to render animations and stills, of course. So we are a subsidiary of NVIDIA since 2007. And of course, one of the reasons for the acquisition was to bring high quality visualization to the GPU. And of course, I will spend some more words about GPU cloud rendering in a second. So let me first explain what iRay and GPU rendering is all about. And this is one example here of a rendering done with iRay. iRay is really benefiting from the massive parallelity of modern GPU architecture. That means iRay is running in parallel with several tasks on each GPU core and can accelerate algorithms that weren't usable before because they simply took too much time. So iRay is a path tracing algorithm trying to simulate the flow of light in the scene, and therefore is providing a very ease of use. So we could call really iRay a push button renderer, where you can just adjust your material settings, set up the geometry, set up the lighting situation, and you get a virtual photograph from that without any further settings or ado. iRay is also benefiting from the possibility to scale to a larger number of GPUs or even across a cluster of hosts. And of course, this ability brings the benefits to using iRay on the cloud as well. So one slide about where iRay is currently being used, in what software packages actually iRay is being used. There's Autodesk 3ds Max 2012, also Bankspeed Shot and various other products from Bankspeed. You can have iRay in CATIA V6. The product there is called Live Rendering, and you can also access iRay already in Cinema 4D, provided by the plugin by the vendor 82. And of course, iRay is a rendering mode available in Mental Ray 3.8 and following, and Reality Server. And of course, I will come to Reality Server in a second. some examples about different use cases of iRay. Of course, because of its photographic quality, you can easily use it in architectural visualization and other use cases like the next following slides. Like this one here coming from Renault, who are using iRay extensively in their design visualization department. And of course in the media and entertainment area as well. Yeah, you always recognize the Tron images immediately, I would say. Okay. So just to explain how Reality Server is working with iRay as a rendering mode. Reality Server is a server-based task running on Peer1's cloud, and on that end is using a number of GPUs and CPUs distributed over a larger cluster. And the overall idea is to ingest 3D data coming from various sources on the Reality Server side, and Reality Server is rendering only on the server side and is producing a stream of images or even a video stream, which is then being displayed on the client side. And the advantage, of course, is that you can really rely on a single laptop or a mobile device like a tablet PC, for instance, in order to have interactive, high-quality visualization running on the cloud. Okay. So another advantage of using centralized rendering abilities is, of course, that you can collaborate from all over the world. So you can open up a session and different users can log into the same session, sharing the same visualization. And you can imagine use cases where you can have a collaboration, annotations, sharing the same camera, and moving around in the same virtual environment. Well, this is just an example how a Reality Server rendering in a browser looks like. I'm going to show you some live demos in a second. Next slide is showing how Reality Server is running on a tablet PC, like a Zoom device, for instance. On the right-hand side, you have actually some screenshots from an iPhone with a car configurator running on that. So these are typical use cases when you're using rendering on the cloud side. So to wrap these slides up, what we currently see is a convergence of different aspects. So at one hand, we have the abilities of the cloud infrastructure together with GPUs providing the proper underlying rendering power. Then we have the applications where you can really create geometry and ingest on the server side. And we have a number of tools available, like tools coming from our partner Imaginius, for instance, who can be used to easily build user interfaces and applications on top of Reality Server. And all these things together now bring the ability to really have interactive rendering over the internet. And now I'm going to show you some live demos. So what you see here is obviously an asset coming from Renault. This is a Renault Twingo in a specific edition. And this demo is now running on the Peer1 cloud with 8 GPUs. And the benefit obviously is that you can interact with the rendering, and the convergence until the image quality is decent is relatively short. So you can really move around the object, look at certain details, for instance, look at the wheel, yeah, and play with all the different abilities such a renderer is providing, like the simulation of a virtual camera. Now you see these nice depth of field effects all computed in real time. And of course, you can have such things like a simple car configurator. So by just clicking here a button, you're able to, for instance, alter the car paint, and then you see the entire car in the new look. So just imagine this as a next generation car configurator where you are able to log in at your preferred car manufacturer and configure your car in such a way, which is really photorealistic and superior to that what you normally see. Of course, you can have post-processing effects like adjusting the ISO or even the saturation and vignetting. All these things are done in real time. Just keep in mind that this is just a one possible application of Reality Server, and typically there are applications being built specifically for a certain use case. So for different customers, user interfaces typically look very different. And another example is this simulation of the city of Rotterdam. This is a project we did together with Esri and a company called Procedural. He was providing the city engine and the geometry of the city of Rotterdam. And the overall point of this demonstration here is that you can simulate new buildings in the harbor area of Rotterdam. And these are the new buildings. And this becomes obvious when I take them away. So this is how Rotterdam looks today. And then now you are able to insert the new buildings and have a closer look how the new buildings are really affecting their environment with proper shadows and so on. This goes so far that you can simulate, for instance, the time of day. So, for instance, switching to the morning. Or even to a later time. And of course, all the shadows are moving, and you see the different details according to the daylight settings. Okay. So this is just an overview what you can achieve with Reality Server rendering on the server side. So if you have any further questions for Robert and me, this would be much appreciated. Yep.
Just repeat it. Repeat it.
I was seeing with your integration into Max and programs like that, but have you got any planned Maya integration?
Well, this is a well-known question, I would say. And of course, we are relying on Autodesk, and Autodesk has to make the decision when Iray would pop up in Maya as well. But there are a lot of requests for having Maya, having Iray in Maya. So, for instance, from the automotive space, then from the media entertainment area as well. So, I'm somewhat optimistic, but obviously I can't speak for Autodesk. Yeah.
Other questions? Yes.
Is this live now? We could use this now. If I invite Max 2012 Iray, I can have some time on your servers.
Yep.
Yes.
I have to remind myself this is in a browser. This is not run locally. This is all, this is all, I forget that it renders so quickly, but that's just the power of the GPU. If anyone has any other questions, we're on the table right outside. Thank you for your attention. Have a great rest of the day.
There's a Martini coming on that.